14, and what does it say? Get to verse 20, and what does it say? You get to verse 24, and what does it say? It's voice activated. Y'all missed your time. It's voice activated. Now watch this, watch this, watch this. The theological term here is ex nihilo, that God created something out of nothing. Watch this now. Then we get to verses 26 and 27, where God says, let us what? Make man in our own image. I love you, elder. You just need to know that. I miss you. We're going to make man in our own image and in our likeness, right? And male and female, he created them, right? For what? To have dominion over the whole earth. But what's the point we have here is that man was created in God's image. Woman was created what? In God's image. Somebody shout, I look like my daddy. In his image, the Hebrew, Zelem Elohim, the Latinists call it imago Dei. I'm in his image. I have his DNA inside of me. So the reason that some of you, Pop talked about how he is a man of prayer. I know that to be a truth. So we don't have someone who fakes prayer. He does pray. But all of a sudden now, that DNA that's in him is all of a sudden creeping in some of y'all. Instead of cussing, you're praying. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Instead of losing your mind, you're falling on your face. Somebody shout, it's been creeping on me. It's been creeping on me. So we have God's attributes. We have his characteristics. We have his DNA. Somebody say, I got God's DNA. Woo! So if he spoke things into existence that did not exist, then because you have your daddy's DNA, there is stuff that you can speak that does not exist right now. Somebody shout, it's voice activated. Ooh, feeling mighty good right now. Watch this. Romans 4 and 17. Y'all quote it all the time, right? Call those things that be not as though they were, as though they already existed. But let me give you the context, because a lot of times we give text, Minister Marcus, out of context. So watch this. Watch this. The context is that God spoke Abraham to be a father of many nations. He called it and he said, look, I know you're Abram now, exalted father. I know you don't have any biological children. But I am going to make you, he spoke it, a father of many nations. And out of you, the whole earth is what? Gonna be blessed. Somebody shout, God spoke it. Watch this. Even God who quickeneth the dead calleth those things that be not as though they were. In other words, even though God called a dead loin, a dead womb, y'all not saying nothing, to give birth, he can call those things that be not as though they were. So if God could do it and I have his DNA, then that means I can do it. All right, all right, all right, all right. The good news is you got the same power. Oh, that's something to shout about right there. Now, we all understand there's power in our mouths, right? Let's go to the text, Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are what? In the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18 and 20, the preceding verse tells us that you'll eat off your mouth. Okay. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the what? Fruit of his mouth. I'm reading in the Bible. Proverbs 18:20. And with the increase of his lips, he shall be filled. Did you catch that? Somebody shout, my mouth is going to fill me. Can I submit to you, that's why the enemy wants to shut your mouth. I know we use that in context of praise, but can we be real tonight? Can we be honest? We family. The enemy's not really scared of praise because he used to do it. But what he's scared about, what I learned from this precious man of God, is he is scared of the word. Look, let me tell you something. If you got great musicians, you got great choirs, you got it all here. But what has made this church is the word. And he may not hit you in A flat with 4, 5 keys, but I done seen some of y'all jump not on a holler, but on a word. All right, watch this. Watch this. He wants to, do you know the enemy wants to cancel your power? Cancel your power, your ability, your desire to speak faith-filled confession. He doesn't mind if you give up and just say, oh, it ain't gonna happen. Because he's okay with that. Because he understands what you say you will live in. Okay, watch this. Watch this. So the enemy tries to silence your mouth through, watch this, the first thing God revealed to me is through depression. Let me take my time here, because I know some saints don't believe in depression and they think it's simply spiritual, and I do believe it is a spirit. But there's sometimes you have to understand mentally what you're dealing with before you can establish a real strategy to deal with the spiritual. First natural, then spiritual. That's what Paul says. All right, so can we be honest? Some of us have felt melancholy. And how many of you know when you're depressed, you ain't trying to even go to church? Okay, I ain't got no real help in here. Give me the real saints. I said when you're depressed, you ain't even trying to go to church. And it's your blessing and the pressing that helps you, because how many times you say, I am so glad, oh, that word Bishop preached, oh my God, if I didn't, it wouldn't have been good on the DVD. I mean, it'd been all right, but I'm glad I got it live. Anybody been there? Where you didn't want to step out the bed, but something on the inside, y'all ain't talking about, got you up, got you to the house of God, and you didn't really want to speak to nobody, you didn't want to talk to nobody. Y'all ain't talking to me in here. So depression. Because when you're depressed, you do not quote the word. When you're depressed, you don't pray. Now you should, but the mental condition is such that when you move from depression, watch this now, then you get to isolation. I don't want to bother nobody. I'm going to just go through this by myself. I don't want to talk to nobody. Come on, talk back to me. I know you don't want to let nobody know that you have been isolated, but the real deal is people been watching you and they know you isolated anyway. So you ain't fooling nobody except yourself. So he moves us from desperation to isolation. And that's when, mother, they stop taking the calls of the saints. And mother calls, hey, how you doing? Just calling. You don't even take the calls because you don't want to be bothered, because the enemy understands when I disjoint myself from the other parts of the body, I can't get what I need. Y'all not talking to me. So he